a school in Derbyshire that organised a Pride Day event where it asked pupils as young as 11 to dress up as drag queens, has cancelled the event following a huge backlash from parents. Announcing her decision to axe the event, the school's head teacher, Heather Watts, said she did not want the event to become a distraction for students taking exams. To shed some more light on this, I'm now joined by transgender teacher and journalist Debbie Hayton. I'm also joined by LGBTQ activist and director of the Peter Tatchell Foundation, of course, Peter Tatchell. So turning first to you, if I could, Debbie, a lot of people, including Fred Sargent, who was one of the founders of the Pride New York event, are now saying that he dreads the Pride Month. It's become cultish. A lot of people also saying that it has no place in schools. Where do you stand?
Well, it's not something I have anything to do with, Martin, anymore. It isn't Pride. But when it comes to schools, we need to look exactly at what's actually happening here. Pride essentially is about adult sexualities and about the rights which adults have won to express their sexuality. Taking into schools is unwise, in my view. And in this case, to encourage children to go into school in full-blown drag, well, what on earth was the school thinking? This is about adult sexualities.
Peter Tatchell, Pride in schools is about adult sexuality. What's your take on that?
That's complete and utter nonsense. I was one of the people who founded the first ever Pride in Britain in 1972. It's got nothing to do with sexuality. It's about celebrating LGBT plus love and life and the contribution that LGBT plus people make to our country. In terms of schools, the starting point has to be that nearly half of all LGBT plus pupils in our schools have been victims of bullying and hate crime, ranging from teasing, threats, menaces, and actual physical violence. That is why Pride is necessary to celebrate in schools. Now, it is completely and totally untrue that pupils have been encouraged to go to school in full drag. That's complete nonsense. From the information that I have.
Peter, hang on. Peter, hang on. Let me interject. That's not complete nonsense. That's what parents at the school said. Debbie, I want to get back to you. What do children? No. We need to get back to Debbie. Debbie, what benefit do children possibly get from seeing an adult male dress in drag in a school place?
Well, they don't. This is not something that we should be putting in front of children. I disagree with Peter completely. I think here we've got a situation where adult sexualities are being paraded in front of children. Schools are places where children should be learning and growing up, not being subjected to this.
Peter.
It's absolutely heartbreaking to see this issue misrepresented in the way that's being done right now. This has got nothing to do with promoting sexuality. Young people were asked that they should dress colourfully and perhaps in rainbow colours. It wasn't a requirement. It wasn't a compulsion. It was an initiative by the pupils in the school themselves. The pupils said, we want to do this. They got together. They organised this event. It's true, a drag queen was due to be there to read stories, to encourage young people to take up reading. Nothing to do with sex whatsoever. I cannot understand this outcry against drag queens. William Shakespeare had drag queens. We all love pantomimes. Danny LaRue, Dame Edna Everage. This is nothing about sexuality. It's about having a laugh. It's about crossing boundaries and having a laugh.
OK, Debbie, it's about having a laugh. You don't think it's very funny, do you, having drag queens in schools? Final word to you.
If it wasn't about sexuality, there would be no need for Pride at all, because we would all been the same, and people with who were homosexual would never have needed Pride. OK, well, that would call it a day at that. Debbie Hayton and Peter Tatchell, thank you for joining us. A feisty but fun and well-mannered debate.